Tom Clark's Main Event is a Boink Studios production. And now, on with the show.
This is Daddy's show. Step off.
Come on, won't you say it loud? Ayo, we gon' turn this out. Tom Clark's Main Event.
Hey, what's up, kids? Welcome back to the program. Tom Clark back here with you again on another Friday. I can't hear myself through the mask. We're doing Halloween, baby. What do you think, man? It's not much of a disguise, right? If you know the beard and you know my voice. Actually, my voice is a bit jacked up today because I'm struggling with a cold. That can be scary all by itself. Hey, man, thanks to everybody out there for tuning in live and after the fact. You are watching and or listening to Tom Clark's Main Event. We are a pro wrestling podcast, been in operation here since 2014. We're so glad that you joined us here today, kids. Means loads to us. And we've got a lot of good stuff to talk about here today. We are going to talk about, it's Halloween episode, yeah? So we're going to talk about some of wrestling's scariest stars. That's the deal today. This is going to be a very free-flowing, very open podcast. We open the floor at the very end. This sucker's going to be open to the whole time. Whatever you got, man, whatever you want to talk about, hit me with it, okay? Whatever it is you want to discuss, we got you, okay? So just let us know your scariest wrestlers, your scariest tag teams. Chris and I both have a list. We're going to share it here with you today, and hopefully you will, if you agree, fine. If you don't, that's fine too. But I can't wait to hear what you think. Before we welcome Chris back to the show, let's hit the hellos. What's up, David down under? Good to see you, my friend. Thank you as always for joining in. Guten Tag, Sandy in Germany. JP, good to see you. Happy Halloween, my friends. JP says, Tom sounds like he's undercover. Right? I didn't realize how bad I sounded. I had an appointment this morning, so I talked my head off, but I haven't really done much talking since then. So I've been trying to, rest my voice. Ray All Day's here. Kids, don't forget to check out Ray's Sports and Slams live every Monday at 6 p.m. on Boink Studios YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts after the fact. So, again, we got loads to talk about here today, kids. We're going to touch on a few current events and stuff, but we're mainly going to talk about, again, since it's Halloween episode here today, by the way, happy Halloween. We're going to talk about some of wrestling's scariest stars in and out of the ring. Okay. So, can't wait to get through it here today. But folks, before we go any farther, I want to bring on now my special co-host for today. You know him from Bachman's Basement. You also know him from the Patton Report. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome back to the show, the one and only Christopher Ray Patton.
I hope everyone's having a nice day.
Man,
this
see,
is Foley's baby boy. Bang bang.
Bang bang. Yep. Very nice. Cactus Pat. I don't know.
Cactus Pat. I hope
Cactus
that's
Chris.
my new podcast nickname.
I'm just saying, man. Cactus Pat. Welcome back to the show, dude. How uncomfortable is that freaking mask you got on, man?
It's terrible, and it's not even as tight as it should go. But look, dude, it's on. I'm wearing it. I'm wearing it in solidarity of your Halloween show.
Oh, there you go. I appreciate that. Means loads. Hey, man, thanks for coming on as always. We kind of threw this together last minute here, kids. Just full disclosure, I've had my head down working all day, and my co-host reached out last night and was asked me what I was going to do, and I never really got back to him. Well, God,
well, he got back to me, but not about shows, just about personal life. He's like, and retrospectively, he's like, I miss when my kid was younger and we used to go trick or treating. And I was like, I'm gonna watch horror movies and dick off all day because I'm off work.
Yeah, well, it's true. And now he tells me he's going to go out of this girl he's been talking to. She's going trick or treating, and she invited him to tag along. I'm like, you don't have anything to wear? He's like, I don't care about that. I was like, all right, but he is 17, so you know.
Hey, go to the Dollar Tree and get something. Get one of
Right?
those little kids' pizza costumes and be like, pizza. You know. I did see a great one that was just a box, like a cardboard box that says, I'm a Gundam.
Oh, that's good. I like that.
It's pretty good. You could, replace that with whatever.
Please welcome to the chat, John. I have not seen you in forever. John Matthews is a local wrestler here in the Carolinas. I say Carolinas. We don't like to say that because South Carolina is very different, and John will testify to this. He's a local he's a local wrestler in the Carolina independent wrestling scene. How about that? John, good to see you, brother. Thanks for checking us out, man. I appreciate you. Everybody tell John hello. Sandy is correct, kids. Tomorrow, the tree goes up. Holler at your boy. I can't wait. I'm so pumped. I can't stand it.
It's terrible.
That's right,
Stop.
man. I don't care.
Stop.
Bring me the heat. I'll take it all. Are you kidding me? I'm here for it.
We definitely have a good guy versus bad guy dynamic going on this one.
Nope, not a problem for me. Hello, Belinda. Good to see you. JP says Patton kind.
I like Patton kind. Yeah, maybe I'll switch my screen name to that.
Yeah, there you
going
go.
forward.
So, look, again, kids, we're going to be going here. We're going to be talking about scariest wrestlers and stuff like that. So we will leave it up to you if you want to chime in, if you want to share some stuff, if you got favorite, like a scary match or wrestler or tag team, whatever it is you guys have. Sean, I don't know if you ever watched the show before, my friend. Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate you. Davey Squires, good to see you, my friend. Welcome back. Everybody, if you haven't smashed the like button, let's do that here. And also share this on your feed. That would mean loads to me. Well, Chris, since you are my guest and I'm your host, what's your pleasure? What is it you like to do? I'm going down a Blazing Saddles path there. Anyway, so let's start with you. Let's start at the bottom for number 10 in your list. And what have you titled your list, by the way?
So I do have some people that I just think are just scary in general in the ring. And then I have mostly people that are scary outside of the ring. So I didn't have a title for it. We'll just call it Water Rush.
I like that. That.
Yeah. So at number 10, I got Roddy Piper. Before he became really a legitimate professional wrestler, he was a homeless tough guy who almost killed a lot of people, and it was still very scary in the ring, including his hatred towards Mr. T himself. So at number 10, I have Roddy Piper. Roddy Piper is not someone I would want to make mad. I've met Roddy Piper, and this is back in 2012. He was a super nice guy to me, and I'm sure that's most people's stories. But like going back to before he became like a really big professional wrestler, there's a lot of bad stories about Roddy Piper and hitting people with bottles and breaking bones, etc. So he's number 10. Roddy Piper, even meeting him in 2012, his stature, his demeanor, even though he was being nice, is kind of terrifying. So he's number 10 on my list.
That's a great pull. I saw a clip of him cutting a promo, and I think it was one of the Briscoe brothers that was standing there with him, and he took a beer. You've probably seen he took a beer bottle and right against his forehead during a promo. And this isn't candy glass, kids. This is the real deal. And he took it only one shot, bam, and he bled like a stuck pig, man.
He was really, really stoned when I met him, and that's how we went up to his hotel. I get what's the statute of limitations on this?
Depends on what crimes were committed.
Well, there's no crimes committed. It was just weed smoking. So anyways, we went up to the hotel room with Manny Fernandez. Manny Fernandez. Shout out to Manny Fernandez. He's going to be on this list a little later with a slash for who else I have on this list. But so went up there and he was selling robes or ring gear to this guy that I was with at the time at this 2012 wrestling convention, and he was stoned out of his mind. So the Roddy Piper I met is probably different than your everyday walking around Roddy Piper, but he was really nice to me. But he used to be a menace. So
yeah,
he's number 10 on my list. Also, I just wanted to tell the fun story. I told Tom before I got on here, I tried to pick people that I had stories about as well.
Oh, apologies. I'm gonna cough off mic because I'm telling you, man, I'm dealing with this crud today. Hey, man, that's a heck of a way to start off, dude. Let me throw my number 10 at you because I stuck with characters. I knew you were going this route, so I stuck with characters. Number 10 for me is Jake the Snake Roberts, and he's not scary in as much as face paint or he's terrifying or he's creepy. But just Jake Roberts in his prime, and everybody knows this. If you don't, for goodness sake, look up Jake the Snake Roberts. But Jake Roberts in his prime The way that guy looked you in the eye, brother, he did the thing that every pro wrestler wishes they could do if they can't, and that is reach through the TV and grab somebody. And Jake had that ability. It was terrifying. I mean, when I was growing up, Chris, I mean, the promos he would cut. This is before he became face, of course, because I was, going for faces and heels when I was a kid. So, of course, but as a heel, he would cut those promos, and I was legit scared. I'm like, this guy terrifies me. Like, just chilling, bone chilling, man. Jake had something that very few people can have and wish they did. He was amazing.
Yeah, I'll have to agree with you on that, Jake. Like the Cobra Strike on Macho Man and just his chilling demeanor whenever he delivered any kind of promo. It's his voice more than anything. This old Southern Mississippi sounding voice, the way he delivers his lines and stuff. There's something spooky about it, inherently spooky. And the snake thing worked perfectly. So, like that landed perfectly for him because he does sound like, and I think we did this on Exile Main Street. He sounds like, especially later on when he got more preachy, he sounded like a Southern snake charmer preacher kind of thing. Because it works. It's very scary. I find that more terrifying than like a Bray Wyatt or a Raven, where they're just ranting.
Yeah,
both of those guys could have took some lessons to Jake the Snake. Get to the point. You got to wrap back around to the match at some point and promote it. I've been saying that for years. You check out
That's
Wrestling Geeks Alliance.
That's fair. Scott Larson, what's up, Scott? Scott says Kevin Nash's Oz has to be on Scary List. Are we talking about can't work, or are we talking about gimmick?
I mean, Super Shredder was scarier than Oz, though, right? Terminator. We were going Teenage Mutant Ninja Trolls 2. Super Shredder himself.
Yeah. JP said Jake had no problem throwing a snake on you either. That would scare me to death. Oh yeah, dude. What's
Jake's
up, Barry Jackson?
When WWE did those road stories where Jake talked about how those snakes were treated and kind of like it kind of made me dislike a lot of that stuff. Looking back on it, because it's like, and anyways, they thought it was a bomb, so they just threw the snakes in the middle of the runway. That kind of stuff. It's like I don't know about that.
Yeah, his head was not in a good place. I would say the majority of his life. I mean,
can't even blame Jake on that though. Like that's like, it's just anyways, I have a weird thing about that, but that's
I
looking as a kid, it was definitely terrifying.
Yeah. What's your number 9?
Number 9, I have Terry Gordy / the Fabulous Freebirds, because that crew together in Texas, they were menaces.
Yes, they were.
Absolute menaces. There's so many stories you can read about the Fabulous Freebirds. Michael P.S. Hayes starting a bar fight and Terry Gordy ending all of the bar patrons in the room. So Terry Gordy is super scary to me because he was like, especially during that time period, early Terry Gordy was like late 70s, early 80s, of someone you would not want to make like Farm Strong, someone you don't want to make mad. He could throw you through 6 other people in the bar window. Something about Terry Gordy has always scared me. And then having Michael P.S. Hayes crap talking you the entire time. And not great. So that's my number 9. I don't know if it's a great number 9, but it's my number 9 because I don't want.
No, I agree. Scary Strong is the best way to put it. Terry was, by all stories and all accounts, behind the scenes, he was a teddy bear. He was a great guy. And God, that guy could work. Like, folks, if you don't appreciate Terry Gordy, I strongly urge you to go check your YouTube. Man, Terry could work, Chris. I don't know. Did he ever get his flowers in during his life? Because he should have.
No, I think the time that he would really have gotten his flowers is after the drug incident, headed to Japan and then coming back, and then he was never really the same. Like, but by the time he made it to he got his flowers in Texas, right? Like in the independent scene, and is still well regarded. The Fabulous Freebirds drew like crazy. So to some extent, yes, but did he ever get like the heel push that he could have got like late 80s? Probably not. He would have been a perfect foil for like a Hogan in WWF and someone that could work with Hogan to have good matches.
Yeah.
If done well. But no, Terry Gordy, and he was the youngest of the Fabulous Freebirds, right? because he started way earlier than a lot of those other cats.
Wasn't he
So it's
19 when he started, or am I wrong?
It's really sad. And he's just a huge old, and you hear Terry Gordy talk, like if you hear like interviews with Terry Gordy, even after all the accidents and incidents of drug use and stuff happen.
Yeah.
He seems like it would be that, but that's scary to me, is knowing the Terry Gordy stories where he's the calm guy and then Michael P.S.A. sets some stuff off and then he murders like 17 people in a bar.
Yeah.
Those are some of the scariest,
Yeah, I agree. Fernando says Abdullah the Butcher. You know what? I left
Abby's so nice. I couldn't put Abby on this list. I know he's scary in the ring, but I couldn't put Abby on this list. He is so nice. He was banned from the convention I was in because they were doing the HIV trial during the time. So he was banned at one of the last conventions I went to. But he still came out and he was outside of the hotel, like in the lobby, and he signed autographs for everybody for free. Just to protest what was happening to him. Abby is so great. He had the Chinese ribs buffet here in Atlanta. So while Abby is scary in the ring, I did some of mine based on your career and things that were happening outside of the ring as far as scary, because I've heard multiple stories about Abby, like Abdullah being able to have a 60-minute match not hurt anybody because he's just going to do his bleed gimmick and stab you with a fork and just chops, and he doesn't really do anything that's that dangerous, whereas like a Stan Hansen might take your head off kind of thing in the ring.
See.
Yeah, because he's blind.
JP says Andre the Giant. That's a good pull. I mean, from a character perspective, and plus, imagine being in the territories back in the day, and you'd never worked Andre, and you're told you're working Andre. Like, you don't know what to expect. Is this guy going to hurt me? Does he not know his own strength? Like, I mean, I can't imagine. Just the guy's sheer size would be enough to terrify you for sure.
I mean, to wrestle Andre, you also have to have sure size. You got to be like 6. Like, how big was Hogan when he wrestled Andre? 6'6", 300 pounds,
something like that. Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah,
and then you just sell it. You just build up to the slam. It's like Andre had like one thing when he got to, at least when he got to America. I know in Japan he is throwing drop kicks and stuff out there, but
yeah. Sean says Brian Pillman. That's an interesting pull. You know, scary in the terms of crazy. Like there's scary, terrifying, and there's scary, crazy. You know what I mean? Like Brian's character, the loose cannon stuff. Yeah, dude, for real. I can totally see that.
Brian Pillman's scary in the sense of like, I don't want to get in a car with him. But
for sure.
No, I mean, Brian had like that after that knee injury in WCW, like he never really came back from that, and then he made a character out of it. It was scary. The gun thing on, you know, as much hate as it got at the time, it's one of the most iconic moments of wrestling where he pulls the gun on Stone Cold Steve Austin. So as a character, I could see that being scary. You know, most wrestlers don't pull guns on one another.
That's fair.
You know what I mean? So
that's
a good pull.
I think so too. My number 9, again, from purely character perspective, is The Fiend. And I didn't put Bray Wyatt the character because Bray Wyatt the character was more creepy than he was scary. But The Fiend, and look, kids, you can like what you want to like. I didn't care for the puppets. I didn't get it. I mean, it worked for 5 minutes, and I'm like, I want to move on. I don't want to see this anymore. But that's me. Bray was so smart, and he was so clever, and he was so great at what he did. I thought the puppets weren't great. What do you think about that Fiend character, man, overall, Chris?
So I happened to be on your show, go back into the archives, kids, of Bray Wyatt's passing. We talked about it, and I thought it was a really cool, innovative character. I liked that Tom Savini did the mask. I thought the mask was very cool. I think Bray's in-ring work was really like pretty good for what it was. I think he could have been more heel at times, like take it a little more old school, like Jake the Snake Roberts, what we were saying earlier. The biggest thing that got me about The Fiend is the rambling promos, which a lot of people like. Like Charles Manson invited him to come see him, and WWE shut that down. Like they were like, "Hey, Charles Manson invited you to come see him," and WWE shut that down. But like those promos, to me, they just don't do anything. It's the same thing with Raven. Like when Raven hit WCW and he was doing those long promos that just don't go anywhere. They don't actually mean anything. Someone in the chat said Kevin Sullivan. Kevin Sullivan to me is a better version of those two things. like what we're talking about, because eventually Kevin Sullivan's going to get back to the match. So that's my only problem with Bray Wyatt. And then also they made it so goofy, the stupid like big hammer thing with Seth Rollins, and Seth Rollins is like peeing his pants and the colored lights, and WWE did everything they could to kill that character, even though it was a cash cow for them, which is embarrassing. So it's less against Bray Wyatt, more against the presentation, and someone should have been like, "Hey, just get to the point on your promos." But yeah, it never did really that. Not as scary as to me, like Boogeyman. Kind of, it was more scary to me because this man's just out here eating worms. That's scary. I don't want to meet that guy in real life. I don't want to be a cult leader in real life either. But
no,
that's easy to just turn away from. But a guy eating worms chasing after you, that's a little
scary. Hard. Yeah. Well, I agree with you on Bray's promos to a point. I think in the beginning they were great, and I think the longer it went on, I would say a year in, give or take, his promos, I remember sitting there looking away from the TV going, what is he talking about? Like,
it's the booking. So part of that goes in the booking, right? Like,
sure.
If he doesn't have anywhere to go with a promo, you just need him to do a promo, then it just did. And that was the same thing with Raven and WCW to some extent, where his promos kind of took a dive.
Yeah.
So it's like, with those kind of guys, you got to, at some point, you have to know where the story is going. You know what I mean? So I'm wearing a mask of a guy that's great at talking about nothing, though. That being said, you could do the crazy guy promo and talk about nothing in the boiler room. So,
ooh, the cold, she kills me. So Chris, what do you think? Number 8, what you got?
I got the Steiners, dude, and the Steiners from the Sins in the '80s, that they were murdering everybody. If you were a jar on a show with R.I.P. dude. That Steiner line, so stiff.
Yeah.
They wrestled exactly like the Road Warriors wrestled. Not as snug as the Road Warriors, but like, man, Scott Steiner and Rick Steiner as a tag team, if you're just like a random guy in North Carolina, it's like, oh, it's my big break. I'm going to go do this WCW taping at the Omni. Like, all right, you guys are going against the Steiners. You're like, awesome. That's going to be fun. The Steiners are scary. They're still scary, including their various children at this point. They're still scary. So number 8 is the Steiners. And that one is more just based on if I had to wrestle a match against the guys and take bumps. Steiners. That's why they're at number 8.
This is going to sound weird coming from a guy that's a major fan of Hawk and Animal, but this whole thing with the Steiners, I never found it. This is not directed at you, Chris, but I never found it like funny or entertaining, because my thing is, I knew they were hurting people, and I'm like, I don't understand why this is okay. Like, dude, like AOP. Not that I'm comparing, but we've seen what happens when guys get in the ring and they're too stiff and they can't. They're legit like hammering. Like in this day and age, we call people out for that, but we're like, Steiners are legends. I don't care. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, the Steiners got better over the years. Like, they protected.
Very true. Yeah.
Over the years, whereas like the Road Warriors were still the Road Warriors. Spoiler alert on the Road Warriors later on. So, like, the Steiners, when they broke, like, because they broke in during this time period we're talking about, and they were like, we need a Road Warriors, but we need a face tag team, and the Steiners kind of fit that. And, like when they were doing suplexes and stuff, they were pretty safe. But like the clothesline, like they laid everything in stiff.
Yeah.
It would probably kill an average man.
And, it's okay to lay stuff in. AJ Styles be the first guy to tell you that he wants this stuff to look good and he wants to lay it in. And he wants the guys that he works to lay it in on him. That's always been his thing. AJ does not like going half-hearted. He just doesn't work that way.
As much as I love AJ Styles, he's from my hometown of Gainesville, Georgia.
Yeah.
He doesn't want Rick Steiner to lay it in, though. It's like, dial it back a little bit, Rick. Jeez.
I don't know. AJ, but
Rick Steiner with the varsity job. I don't know, man. It's pretty tough.
Maria says Steiners were better than Legion of Doom. Well, we can have our favorites. It's fine.
I would tend to agree with you, but I grew up in the time period of the Steiners kind of coming to fruition. So I would agree with you, but I also love the Road Warriors. Also, the Road Warriors gimmick is cooler though, like big shoulder pads with the spikes. They sold foam spike shoulder pads. That's pretty cool.
It's pretty cool. So let's say my number 8, and again, I'm sticking to character work only. Mick Foley in any incarnation. Because again, it's not the terrifying Halloween kind of scary. It's psychological. It is, this guy's off his rocker. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, he was the absolute perfect foil for The Undertaker. And what's great is that nobody thought he would be. The guy running the place at that time didn't have faith in it. Well, this guy can't measure up. He can't, look at him compared to Taker. And Foley's like, but you don't understand. I can do this. I'm perfect for this. And he was. Like, I can't imagine. Imagine if Taker had never had that feud with Foley over the years, he would not have been the same character that we ended up getting at all. Because even the biggest, baddest dude has got to have someone that can get to him. And Foley could. So I think Foley's character work always fantastic. And, Cactus Jack, scary crazy. But just Foley the man. Like, what's this? How high is it? I'll jump off of it. That's scary to me. Do you know what I mean? So he's my number 8.
I'm invalidating your list because you've named 2 people that were not the scariest wrestlers of the 80s, which is the list that you presented me with. Bye bye.
Yeah. Well, again, I'm going purely from character stuff instead of the real people. Do you know what I mean?
Well, no, you said scariest wrestlers of the 80s, though. Like the Mankind Faces of Foley. That's we're
I said from 80s to today. Did I not say from 80s to today?
I don't think I only went 80s. So Mick Foley would be on my list. Otherwise, I thought we were only doing 80s. So all of my people are going to be from the 80s. Look, we're doing it live.
It makes me crazy because I may have effed up.
No, it's good though. Mick Foley. Mick Foley specifically, the Cactus Jack interviews with his family in WCW, I think is some of the best promos.
Yeah, I agree.
That Mick Foley's done. The ECW ones were fine, and then the sit down interviews with JR were kind of creepy. Like very creepy, where he's ripping his own hair, which I'm trying to do here with the weird hair part and bolting kind of thing, with the mask. That stuff is great. Like he would be on this list, but I thought we were doing 80s only. So
that promo I put up said from the 80s to today. So yeah.
Oh, but it's a promo video. That's not what was in chat, Tom.
No, there's not. Show me in the chat.
I will. I'll do it.
You freaking troublemaker. I swear. Always making trouble.
Also, this mask looks very much like that Rat album. Was it Rat? It's like Quiet Riot. The Quiet Riot album.
Yes.
Yeah.
Did they ever name that guy? That mascot? I don't think they did.
But I love that metal bands used to have a mascot. Like Metallica had like the weird Metallica star, and then Iron Maiden had Eddie. And Quiet Riot had that guy that we can't think of as far as the name goes.
Scariest wrestlers of all time, 80s to now.
To now, you're right.
I'll
take the L, dude. I'm doing the job for you.
Take that L. Do that job.
Which is what Mick Foley would do against Rey Mysterio Jr.
That's fair. Are we to your number 7?
Yes, we are to my number 7. My number 7 is Hulk Hogan, which is the scariest thing that could happen to you in the 80s. He's a career killer, and he also almost killed Munch from Law and Order. So never seen that video. Check out Hulk Hogan's appearance.
Scary.
Where he almost murdered a guy.
Yeah, he choked him out. You can hear it when he cranks on him. You can hear something. He didn't break his neck, but if you watch that, you can hear something. And I'm like, how do you not know you're putting too much pressure on his neck? Belzer sued him, but I don't know how much he got from it. Do you know?
He said at one point, I read an interview with him. He's like, after all of that happened, he was like, it didn't affect my life because I bought a home in France. So I'm assuming that he made a lot of money during that time period.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like Belzer. I like Munch. I like Law and Order SVU as much as the next people. But he did set Hogan up, and this is a different time period in someone that was my honorable mentions which is Steve Williams, also on this list. They were still protecting the business a little bit, so Hogan choking him out was not surprising. But also, the scariest part about Hulk Hogan is that he's Hulk Hogan, and ask Sting how he felt in '97. is what I will say about. Ask TNA how good of business they did when Hogan showed up with Bischoff.
Yeah,
Hogan might actually be number one if we're doing to the 80s to current. I might move him up as the scariest thing in wrestling.
Before anybody gets upset, these things weren't said after he passed. These things were said for years when he was here. So it's not like we have uncovered new information. I mean, it has always been that this guy didn't give back. And I'm not going to get into it with people, but like this idea of, well, he made the business time. Yeah, but he had help. He didn't work himself. He didn't work anybody or the broom. Guys put him over and made him look good. Guys who, in a shoot fight, Chris, probably could have rolled him up and pinned him, and he couldn't have been able to get out of it.
Yeah, and I'm not even taking anything away from Hulk Hogan in the 80s. It's not that take. It's let's take out 83 to 89. Let's take that away. Let's say Hulkamania was running wild. He was the greatest employee of all time, right? Let's look at the career after that. Let's look at what happened in WCW. Let's look at what happened in TNA. Let's look at everything else.
Yeah.
Right. And then have an opinion on Hulk Hogan. I agree. Hulk Hogan is important, very important on the Mount Rushmore as far as like draws go for wrestling.
Yeah.
But he is also notoriously known as being one of the hardest people to work with. Like specifically if you grew up a WCW fan, I feel like you have way different feelings on Hulk Hogan towards the end of WCW than someone who grew up in the 80s who loved WWF. For sure.
And Sean says Andre put him over, brother. I would like to think in the multiverse there is a world in which Andre did not put him over because Hogan was terrified he wasn't going to put him over. And Andre didn't have to put him over, but that's the way they wrote it.
According to Hogan, Andre weighed 6,755 pounds. They had to weigh him on an airplane scale.
Yeah.
And Hogan tore his back out trying to slam Andre. Minus the weight number I gave. All things that Hogan has said. This is another reason that Hogan is on this list because he also wrestled 378 days a year, Tom.
Oh, of course. And Andre's weight kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger every time Hogan told the story too.
Yeah.
I'll tell you this, back in the day in the 80s in the wrestling mags, the weight listed for Andre in the listings and the rankings was 525 pounds. And you know the wrestling magazines would typically add 30 to 40 pounds to make it sound better. So he was probably 490. Not that that's not big, but weights are different.
At the famous WrestleMania match, they weighed him in at 600, which is fine. It's a gimmick weight, right? Like it was 630 or something, if I remember correctly.
Where he says,
but this has nothing to do with Andre. Andre had nothing to do with Hulk Hogan being. Oh man, I almost cussed so hard.
Being Hogan, yeah.
What a doll. Andre had nothing to do with Hulk Hogan being Hulk Hogan and talking about Andre after Andre has been dead for 30 plus years.
Everybody's talking about Andre was sick. I didn't say he wasn't sick. I didn't say he had health problems. I just said I'd like to think in the multiverse there's a world that, he didn't do the job. That's all I said.
No, I mean, Andre at that point in his career, he was always going to do that job. He's an attraction. He couldn't work. He had health issues, like someone in the chat said. I agree.
Sure.
Like he knew. And to Vince's credit on that one, they booked Andre appropriately. And they put Bobby with him. They did a really good job of building up that mania. But to be fair to all the other territories, Hogan's not the first person to slam Andre, and also that story was already told. So just don't stoke up Vince that much on that build. It was done previously. Just
sure.
Heads up.
I mean, it was done probably in Mid-South. Not Mid-South. What am I thinking of? What was the territory? Not Mid-South. Where DiBiase was.
The AWA. Wait, what
No.
are we talking about? Sorry,
No, I forget the territory. It wasn't Mid-South. I don't think it was Mid-South. But
Memphis? Was it Memphis? What's
maybe
that?
it was Memphis. I can't remember. But DiBiase.
But I mean, Andre traveled. They did the Slam storyline in multiple territories, and
Oh, yeah, for sure.
It even happened in like Texas, so it's not.
Yeah.
It wasn't anything new. Vince did a great job of building to it for so long with all the shows he had and all the television he had, and making Andre such an attraction. And putting Bobby with him was brilliant. Like, I'm not trying to take anything away from that, but also we're talking about like the most evil wrestlers. Andre's not on this list.
Oh no,
we're talking about Hogan here at 7.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Andre's fine.
So, so my number 7. Oh, by the way, I got a story about Andre. I'll tell you off mic. I can't tell you on mic. So number 7
Sheik has a lot. Well, Sheik has a lot to say about Andre as well. Go listen to Papa Sheik talk about Andre, because Andre also not maybe the Andre that the fans love and know from the HBO documentary.
Yeah. Well, this is not a bad story, but yeah, I'll tell you off mic. So my number 7, kids, is Big Van Vader. And you know, again, for me, like, I forget what age I was when Vader came out. Remember, he used to wear the big mask that went over his shoulders and smoke blew out of it, which I thought was the coolest thing ever. And the only thing we knew about him was he was from Japan. And we heard it so often, I thought, was he Japanese? And then the mask came off. I'm like, he ain't Japanese. But, you know.
Tom, do you still have the donate a coffee or buy me a coffee? If everyone buys both of us a coffee for the next year, we'll be able to get those giant mastodon masks.
Oh, my God. Are you kidding me?
Halloween episode.
How cool would that be?
The entire time we're talking.
How cool would that be? I'd be here for that. Yeah. Don't think I'm not ready with a banner. Hold on. Bam, look at that. There she is. Don't think I'm not ready. But yeah, Vader, terrifying. Big, strong as an ox. Could flat out work. Again, like Gordy. I imagine Vader in his prime versus Gordy in his prime. It may not be the match that I'm thinking in my head, because, you know, they're two equally big guys who probably had better matches with smaller guys because it was a different moveset. But Vader, that character, was just, again, that, you know, I can't even say he was crazy. I can't even say he was like terrifying, but it was just, you know, his intensity and again, his brute strength. And I'm not even talking about the ECW stuff, but even after he got there, of course. But wait, am I thinking of? I might be getting mixed up with Bigelow. How did I not get Bigelow on this list, by the way? Anyway, Vader's my number 7.
I mean, Bigelow's terrifying just because he's big, but like, he was a safe worker.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Whereas Vader was stiff.
Yeah. But again, like you peeled back the curtain.
He's also a big softy, though. Shawn Michaels made him cry.
Yeah.
Vader. So my number 6 is Stan Hansen, which is directly related to Stan Hansen just beating the absolute crap out of people.
Yeah.
Vader included, like one of the few wrestlers to knock someone's eye out of their socket, which is Vader and Stan.
Yeah.
You could put Vader or Stan here when they were in Japan, because they were very, very stiff against each other. Vader is the stories about Vader makes him seem like such a good guy that I couldn't put him on this list. You know, like he seems like he's like what happened to him in WWF is such an embarrassment of booking. It's so embarrassing, because like him versus Cactus Jack, him versus Sting is so good in WCW.
Yeah.
You want to watch some like early 90s WCW, dude? Vader versus Sting, Vader versus Cactus Jack. Great, good storytelling, great matches. He gets to WWF, it's awful.
Yeah,
it's awful. So and then he became a real estate sales agent at some point. It's in the Wrestling with Shadows documentary. So like, I don't know, Vader's just kind of like misunderstood to me, so I could put him in this list. But Stan Hansen's known as just beating the crap out of people, so I wouldn't want to work a match with Stan Hansen. If you drew that on the card, you know,
blind as a bat.
Guy.
Blind as a bat. Couldn't see anything. You know, again, I won't go back to the Steiner thing, but again, like, you know, there's snug, then there's not being safe, and when you're told This guy hits like a brick wall. Also, he's blind. Well, then I'm not working him. It's not like if you're a wrestler, you should be able to take a punch. You should be honestly, you should be able to get to getting stiffed. But when you're told this guy can't see, then you're gonna effing hurt me, and I'm not working you. You know what I mean?
I agree with you, Tom, and that's the difference between New Japan and All Japan at that time period, though.
Very, very true. Very true.
It's strong. That's the strong style.
Yeah.
It's the difference. Like Terry Funk's not out here getting close like by Stan Hansen that hard.
Right. Yeah. Good call.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
It's, very specific to the style that they were working at that period of time. And yes, Vader's eye in that match was gross. And Vader is definitely intimidating. The Mastodon mask, him coming out, the squashes he had on his Japan runs, insane. But yeah, he Vader's great. I just, we're talking about the scariest people in wrestling. Vader is like a big teddy bear. He's a super nice guy backstage. So I could put him on this list.
Yeah, but again, you're backstage. I ain't backstage. You know what I mean?
You know, we were doing a crowd. I asked you beforehand. I did ask beforehand.
I'm in front of the camera. No, I like that we had two. I like that we have two sides. Robbie, you're right about the ear thing with Foley, but that was not Funk. That was Vader. So yeah, that was
Foley got caught in the ropes, right? So that was like a weird accident. That was not like with Stan Hansen. He just clotheslined Vader so hard and missed him. He just hit him across the head and his eye popped out. This is a little different. Like the ropes were too tight on the Foley spot. He was trying to do the skin the cat, like caught in the ropes and then drop out. And when he dropped out, his ear ripped off.
Yeah.
Which is still dumb. Why are the ropes that tight? They don't need to be that tight.
I think there's footage of it somewhere.
Yeah, it's gross.
It's great. Yeah. I can't. I've seen it one time, but that was it. So my number 6 is Abaddon, because ladies got to represent. Ladies can be terrifying. I've dated a few of them, but Abaddon is. I'm sure that if you said who's responsible for makeup, I'm sure it's her. I got to tell you, man, when she first hit AEW, I'm like, I had to turn my head. I'm like, this is fantastic. She looks amazing. Like whoever, again, I say whoever, it was her that was behind it, I'm sure. But man, they did a fantastic job of her presentation. Didn't do a fantastic job in how they ultimately handled her, which wasn't great. But in the beginning, Chris, I was like, man, different. How many times can you look at a pro wrestler and say different? It never happens. So I thought she brought something unique to the table. Was she the best wrestler ever? Maybe not. But again, she was different. She had a presentation. You know what I mean? I thought she was great.
She really needed that booking that the Hardys had with the Broken Hardys back in early TNA. Kind of with like if they would have done something like that. And I know some of that was Billy Corgan. I can't remember. Was it Jeremy Borash? I can't. The guy works for WWE now.
Borash, yeah.
The Broken Hardy stuff. Like she would have benefited from that so much in AEW. The way that he kind of writes stuff. Rosemary, Rosemary's great. By the way, I saw that chat. Rosemary, I like better than Abaddon. So if it was my list, I might put Rosemary there. But that Broken Hardy stuff, and I think they could have done something similar with Abaddon, especially because the Hardys were there when I think the Hardys were there when she first showed up. They could have done something very interesting with that, but my number 5. We're gonna get straight into number 5 here. Jimmy Superfly Snuka.
Oh yeah, good call. Yeah,
and this one is more of a personal one for me because I grew up loving Jimmy Superfly Snuka. You grew up on wrestling. My grandpa loved Jimmy. It's one of those things where he was a superhero to a lot of people, and even the guy that I'm wearing the mask of, and I met him and he was super nice. And I gave him a light with my Zippo. We smoked cigarettes together. We drank beer together. He only drinks Budweiser. He worked for the Budweiser factor. Little known fact, Jimmy Snuka loves Budweiser, specifically the red label Budweiser, original Budweiser. And then after all that happened, and I didn't know this, and I probably should have, being a mark back then, I guess, and kind of doing interviews and stuff. I should have maybe have known this controversy, but I felt like it was really buried until like 2014, 2015. And it started popping up, and the trial happened and all that stuff. And I was like, so the scariest thing about him was that I talked to this person who seemed like the most wonderful person ever, great time, fun person, but he was a murderer and an abuser. So he's number 5 on my list for that.
Yeah.
That was scary. It's the only person I've ever encountered like that, where it was like, oh wow, people they can have a mask, right? Like in wrestling is a lot about masks. We're wearing masks, right? It's a lot about gimmicks and stuff. But the Jimmy Superfly Snuka one really stuck with me.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't blame you. Like, not quite the same, but Buddy Rose. Like, there's Portland Wrestling has a Facebook channel, and it looks like it's the actual Portland Wrestling organization. Didn't know it even still existed, or whoever owns it or whatever has a Facebook channel. And I almost hit follow until I see Buddy Rose's every other post. I'm like, yeah, I'm not. Like, I know people want to enjoy their entertainment, Chris, and they don't want to think about what the person really did. Buddy Rose was not a good dude. He was a pretty awful human being. Like, I don't want anything to do with that. And it's not for me. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
I don't know.
Yeah. And mine are getting darker as we go up this list, by the way.
Well, we're looking forward to that. Let me tell you.
Outside the ring stuff, guys. But
JP,
Jimmy, great wrestler inside the ring, great babyface. He would have been WWE. He may have been pushed WWE's number 1 babyface if it wasn't for the fact that he murdered someone. And Vince had to shuffle some things around to keep him out of prison. And then the push stopped.
Yeah.
And that's a timeline. You can look it up. Like the murder happens in 79, or was it like 79? I think, right? Like you'll see Jimmy Snuka, he's still like in the IC title, like he's in the mid card during that time period. But yeah, he never gets the push that if he didn't murder someone, Jimmy Snuka, probably we'd be talking about him a lot differently right now. He may have been our Hulk Hogan to some extent, because Jimmy Snuka was super, super over. People forget about how over he was. He was more over than like kind of the same gimmick as Ricky the Dragon, right? But more over, like to a bigger extent. So like if that murder doesn't happen, Vince doesn't have to bail him out of jail and cover up a lot of stuff that maybe we'll go with maybe on that, because I don't want to get sued. But there's a lot of suspect things
allegedly.
Allegedly with the Jimmy Superfly Snuka. And Jimmy was super nice to me. I mean, he's a great guy. That's what made it terrifying. That's why he's number 5 for me. So
JP with a good pull. Awesome calling in TNA. Again, character-wise, for sure. Yeah, scary, strong.
I was so disappointed that they didn't do Kong versus Kong in AEW. They set it up so hard. They set it up right off the rip with Kong versus Kong. We're going to get Aja versus Awesome. And I was like, oh, man, I'm so stoked on this. And then it never happened. Thank you, AEW.
Yeah, right.
Great. You did great, Tony.
Fernando says, what's wrong with separating the art from the artist? Nothing if there's nothing wrong with you doing it. But for me, I have a hard time with it. That's my answer.
I feel like I did. Did I not separate it? I put over Jimmy as I said that.
No, he's commenting what I said, that if people want to overlook what people did outside off the screen or out of the ring, they can, but it's not for me. Fernando, it's not for me. I don't really have an answer for you. I'm just not comfortable with it. That's just me.
Oh, yeah, my fault. I thought it was aimed at me. I was like, I thought I put him over. I just said he could have been the Hulk Hogan if all that stuff didn't happen. Like I put Jimmy over as a person, even though he's a murderer. So that's what makes it scary, because it's the Ted Bundy thing where it's the guy next door. Like, he's such a nice guy.
Right.
That's terrifying. In fact, I might move him up my list to number 1. Now that I'm thinking about it more.
Don't talk yourself into it. Okay. My number 5, and this goes back. My top 5 are the ones that as a kid, I'm talking growing up as a fan, as preteen and into early teen years. The Great Kabuki absolutely scared the crap out of me. That long hair, that weird face paint, his body was not in great shape. Remember, in NWA, he had like a gut, and I think it was scarier that he wasn't in great shape. You know what I mean? Because he wasn't. In other words, I have a chiseled body because I'm on a poster. And then you put face paint on the guy, well, maybe it'll work, maybe it won't. As long
See,
as you're
like
not,
with Kabuki and Muda both, I was like, that's awesome. That's who I want to be.
yeah.
So I wasn't
If-
necessarily scared. I was just like, they look awesome.
From
I wanna
Muda,
be
yes,
those
but not for
guys.
Kabuki. Kabuki scared the crap out of me.
For both, I was like, that looks awesome. I want to
Yeah.
go to school like that.
Well, because they tried to pass Kabuki off as Muda's dad, which was,
Weird. Yeah.
it is what it is. But no, he terrified me. Kabuki, I couldn't. Muda, when I first laid eyes on Muda, I'm like, oh my God, this is the coolest thing I've ever seen, because he was doing the handsprings and the that snap elbow and the elbow drop and stuff. I'm like,
Yeah.
I've never. Holy cow, this is great. Do you know what I mean?
Dude, this
So-
the Shining Wizard is like a setup finisher or a finisher is like one of the best. And now that people just use it as a transitional move, it makes me so mad.
Right.
It makes me so mad.
Well, it's
But
yeah.
yeah, I get it. Times they are changing, as Bob Dylan would say. But
it's the old story. It's the old story of the super kick used to be the finish. I mean, it's true.
I kind of like that only Shawn Michaels can get a win off of it, though. It's
He
one of
must be
them.
the only one executing it properly.
Yeah, well, he's loading the boot. That was back in the day when he's part of DX. They were like, he's cheating. He's loading the boot. For
Now you're
people
talking.
that used to believe wrestling was real.
Now you're talking Thunderfoot right now.
Yeah, he's Thunderfoot. You remember that? That's
Oh.
why he stomps his boot, gets the lead down to the bottom, so
Yeah.
when he hits him in the chin, which
We,
would have been great if they would have told us that in story of him cheating.
Well, they did.
But-
They did.
Oh,
They
did
just said he was
Okay,
loading the.
yeah.
They said he was loading the boot. Yeah, we had Gene Ligon in a company I worked for a bit. We brought him in, and greatest guy, nicest guy ever. Not a carny at all. You know what I mean? Talked to all of us like a regular dude. Was very respectful, and he was a veteran, so he could have been a jerk. He wasn't. He was awesome. And dude, he would tell stories in the locker room in between the matches, and every wrestler we had was over listening to him because his stories were great. You know what I mean? Of course they were. How could they not be? So yeah.
I wish I was there. That sounds like a great time.
Oh, he was. I really liked the guy. He had a second career as a referee after he stopped being a wrestler. So he stayed in the business for a good long time. Let's see. Who's you're number 4? Is that who we're up to?
I'm number 4. I got number
Who you
4
got?
is the Invaders. And the Invaders, their whole roughshod over Puerto Rico, including the murder of in their locker room of Bruiser Brody.
Mm.
And also the aftermath with Manny Fernandez, who we talked about a little bit earlier. I said I was going to get Manny Fernandez. There is a Manny Fernandez drop on Invader 3 on the chest where he almost killed the guy. And still to this day, there's a debate on whether that's a shoot or work with the vomiting of blood, etc. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. When I met Manny Fernandez, he said it was a straight shoot and it was revenge for Brody, but it's also Manny Fernandez. So take it for what it is. But if you watch it, if it is a work, it's one of the best of all time. It is one of the best of all time. It looks super sketch. He puts his knee directly into the eye of it. Like there's multiple stories about how you could do what Invader 3 did, but the Invaders in general, they would have people buy into their territory and then steal their money, which is what happened to Bruiser Brody, and then he got stabbed to death, which makes them number 4 on my list.
Yeah, I've seen that clip, and I think it's a work. I don't, because in my head I'm like, you have no reason to go to the top rope other than it's showtime, folks. Like if you really just wanted to hurt him, flat out stomp him. If you could get that result from the abdomen, stomp him in front of everybody. Why go to the top rope, make a production of it? And then when he came off, his knee barely touched him.
Like he lays the knee in. Dude.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Such a product. Like, check it out. Oh, like, because I am still on the fence on whether. It could be just because I talked to Manny about it, but
I think it can go either way.
I am on the fence about this because Manny never worked Puerto Rico again after that. So that one is fun to talk about. Go and watch it. There's lots of this is a back and forth argument for even the hardest of wrestling fans.
It's hard to watch.
What happened? It's a tough one. So the work idea is that he drank a bunch of vodka and chicken blood beforehand, so that when Manny hit the knee, he would have this reaction.
Yeah.
That is the common theme of this, but then you have a man that's wrestling with vodka and chicken blood in his stomach for like 5 minutes before that happens. So it checks into. Anyways, it doesn't matter. The invaders were pieces of crap. they would sell things that they didn't really own and then stab people when they tried to get their money, which is what happened to Bruiser Brody.
Yeah.
And then get off with it because the Puerto Rican government sent court notices like after the trial had already happened. So it's a disgusting thing.
It is.
I will say Dark Side of the Ring did a decent job of covering it if you can get over Tony Atlas talking about feet. But there's look up, like, if you look up the original Wrestling Observers around that, that's probably your best source for it. But yeah, it's crazy.
Fernando with a great pull. The original Sheik. I didn't even include him. That's a great pull. Great pull for sure. Maria says, was the murder proven? She's still on Snuka. Or,
yes.
or is she talking about Maria? You talking about Bruiser?
Yeah, I mean, with Jimmy Superfly, yes, it was like he lost a lawsuit. His family lost a lawsuit on that, and then he was going back to criminal trial, and they said he couldn't stand trial because of his health, and they died before they could put him on trial.
I remember that.
So I mean, it's as proven as it could be.
Brody, I mean, Brody was never confirmed, right? It was whispers mostly. Like, was it ever...
he didn't stab himself.
Well, no, of course not.
Right. And there's a avalanche of evidence that points to the invaders in general. But yeah, maybe not. But yeah, with Brody, yes, with like who else did it? Did Tony Atlas do it? Like, Manny Fernandez went in there and shanked Brody. That's what happened. Like, we're talking about a very small locker room with a very lot of evidence of the invaders.
Very small locker room. Yeah.
So, I mean, whether it was proven or not, it couldn't be proven because they sent the witness notices after the court date. So, like, half the people that could have pointed the invaders of being in the shower weren't there on purpose.
By the way, my number 4.
They were tied into the government that hard because Puerto Rico.
Yeah, corrupt government at the time. I don't know if they still are, but they were then. Brody's my number 4, by the way. He's my number 4.
Oh, just like scary? Yeah, Brody's scary.
Because, you know what's fun, kids? Go back and watch some of those Japan matches with Brody and watch how 20 rows of fans run when he comes into the crowd. And no one's telling them to move. They legit are running from their chairs because here he comes. It's awesome.
Yeah, I don't normally promote Taker's podcast at all because I have various opinions about some things he says.
Same.
But he does talk about him and his one of his first matches was against Brody, and he talks about him rushing in headlong, trying to call spots, and Brody taking him out of the ring and just hitting him with a chair. It was like one of those metal slat chairs. So when he hit him, the slats popped up.
Yeah.
And then bringing him back in the ring and just beating the absolute crap out of him. And Brody was known for that.
Yeah.
Also with Lex, you could look up the Lex Luger Brody interactions. Those are fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, Brody's scary. I mean, coming out with the cowl vest and swinging.
Yeah,
he's a scary guy. I almost put Ox Baker on this list.
That would have been
because
good.
I get the same kind of vibe from Ox Baker and Brody to some extent. Minus Ox Baker's finisher is not,
I mean, Ox killed a guy with the heart punch, didn't he? Or was that Urban Legend?
Urban Legend. They also said the Undertaker killed the man with a heart punch when he was Mark Callis. So I love that continued on with the you hit somebody in the heart, they die.
Yeah.
I thought that was real as a kid. By the way, I was like, if anyone messes with me, I'll punch him directly in the heart.
I guess if you hit
it was not true, guys.
The right guy on the wrong day, that dude might stroke out. It's possible, I guess. But,
yeah, if they already have arrhythmia, something.
I said the right guy on the wrong day, didn't I? That's what I meant.
You did say that.
Hey, number 3 for you. What you got?
Dino Bravo,
Please say why, because I already know it. Say it.
huge coke dealer and member of the Cortone family. Notorious troublemaker. Yeah, just look up Dino Bravo. We don't have enough time to go over this, but Dino Bravo in general, outside of wrestling, was a mob made man. He was not a good guy.
And yeah. The stuff you don't know, kids, if you don't know it. Yeah, I wasn't aware of a lot of that because I'm sure he was everywhere like all the guys were back in the day, but I knew him from WWE. I didn't, or WWF at the time. I didn't really know him from another company. I mean, what kind of, he was never with Crockett, was he? Or was he? Am I wrong?
I know he worked some. I think he worked mostly. If I I'm pulling. So we're talking like Midwest and Canada is where Daniel would have been working, and then WWF brought him in. And
AWA, that's right.
Yeah. AW is like is that Midwest? Is Minnesota Midwest? We consider
is Minnesota Midwest? I don't know.
Well, it's up there where it's cold and they play hockey. So
yeah.
Considering that Midwest for me.
Okay, I was gonna say, does automatically qualify as Midwest? That's good.
Yeah, so they're in Canada. But yeah, like because the crime family he was under was in Canada, so it's kind of it's a weird guy. And WWF for a long time was trying to replace a huge Italian icon, and they never figured it out. So
yeah, hey, that's a good pull. Yeah. I know you mentioned him earlier. You said that he was a sweetheart, but Abdullah the Butcher is my number 3. Because, again, as a kid, I'm watching him, and I am just – the guy's got what looks to be a freaking stick, and he just, and the juicing and everything and the way his head was carved up. Again, as a kid, I was like – I never saw him live, and I had no desire to see him live because as a young man, I was absolutely terrified of Abdullah the Butcher. And it wasn't like my I'm an adult fan and here's what I think. All that stuff wasn't around for me at the time. I was bought in. I was completely bought in. Now, as I got older and started understanding what it was a business and it wasn't what I thought it was, if I go back and watch Abdullah matches, I'm like, kind of a one-trick pony. Do you know what I mean? All due respect to him, but but you can't argue, Chris, that the guy made money and he got booked all the time, and he was a fantastic heel, a great heel, dude.
I was gonna say, like, if the one trick's put in the right place, it doesn't matter, right? Because like you watch all the Abbey matches, and they're very entertaining, even though they're brawl matches, but they're entertaining the entire time. And then when he pulls that fork out of his shoe or wherever he has that thing placed and starts stabbing people, you're like, oh man, that's usually towards the end of the match. Yeah. And then he loses, he goes to the finish. It's great. He knew what needed to be done, right? Like that's magic in itself. Like, so we were like the last episode I was on with you, we were talking about, John Moxley trying to drown a man in an aquarium. Versus, Abby just needs to pull the fork out in 45 minutes, do a 60-minute time limit draw.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, if the rest of everything else looks good and makes sense, then, everything that happened before it doesn't matter. People remember the entrance, they remember the beginning of the match, and then they remember the end of the match. So
Maria says bushwhackers. I disagree, Maria. I say sheep herders before they became cartoon characters. Because Chris, in the territory, sheep herders were violent, they were vicious, they were bloody, they were insane. Like, they were shot in the arm for Crockett when they came in, because you're like, I've never seen anything like this before. They were brutal, is the word. Sheep herders were a bloody tag team at the time.
Yeah, that was so that's when they were also doing booking for Jerry Lawler's territory, right?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, they I don't know, man. But the Bushwhackers thing kills it. Yes, I guess. Yeah, for sure.
Abdullah in the chair.
For sure. Scary. Abdullah in the chair, for sure.
Because again, if you're a kid of a certain age, you don't know it ain't real.
But also, WCW years later will ruin that with,
Everybody say hello to the boy. Hey, are you on the way? Is she back yet? Take the dog out before you go, please. Please. Don't let the cats out. Let me know before you leave. Okay. There you go. Make the boy do chores.
So is he on the way?
What now?
Yeah, is he Molly Crew? Is he on the way?
Oh.
Oh, sweet.
Man, I totally gone. Remember head cold. I'm blaming the head cold for that. Totally missed that. JP says Dino worked the Mid-Atlantic portions and held Jim Crockett's version of NWA tag with Tim Woods. Oh my God, how did I forget that?
Yeah, that's what I thought. So that's the Midwest. That's what I would consider Midwest. Right?
Tim Woods, Mr. Wrestling. So yeah, that's okay. Wow, man, long time.
If you're outside the Mississippi River, you're Midwest to me.
Who's your number 2?
Number 2 is the Road Warriors. And the Road Warriors, I'm pretty sure that they killed people in Japan. The Yakuza just covered them up. So the Road Warriors as a kid, I was not scared of them. I thought they were on my side. But if I was on the other side of the fence and I had to face the Road Warriors, that is the scariest thing of all time. Even their promos are scary. Like, come out to Black Sabbath. They're just murdering people in the middle of the ring. They're scary. Road Warriors legitimately, and I want so bad for them to put 2 big dudes together and have them have a Road Warriors tag team in today's age. I've talked about it so many times, but the Road Warriors were so great and just scary. Like, you're like, oh man, that guy died. And sometimes maybe they did.
They're on here for me too, but in a little bit. Yeah, here's what I'll say about, and I said this before. I think had they stayed in AWA or had ended up in another promotion somewhere else, maybe they don't have the legacy they have now. But they get to NWA and they're doing the Iron Man thing, of course, and they're doing their bum rushing the ring, and you can barely get 4 bars out of that Iron Man tune, and they've already won the match. But like,
which is awesome, by the way.
Yeah, right. Things began to change when Hawk started working Flair, and when Animal and Hawk started working the Horsemen, and you know, it just became different because Ric Flair at the time, I would dare say, if Hawk couldn't work, I don't know that Rick would have worked him more than one time. I think Rick would have said, "Look, this guy needs work. He can't hurt me, or he can't, he can't work or whatever." I thought Hawk's matches with Rick were very good. Now, was it 80% Rick? Maybe it was 80% Rick, but I do think over time they both got very good at what they did as a tag team. But you're right, the first couple of years were scary.
But I mean, that's what made them awesome, though. So, like,
yeah,
were they that good, or were they just murdering people? It's one of the two. Because, like you said, with Hawk and Ric Flair, it's fine. My guess is they just didn't care about local talent. We're absolutely running roughshod over these poor guys trying to break into the industry.
Well, they tell the story about, and I'll save the story. Remind me to save the story. Fernando says WB killed the Road Warriors. I can't disagree with that. I'm sorry. I agree.
So I will say this: WWE did kill the Road Warriors to some extent, but if we're talking about the 96, 97 run, the Road Warriors as a whole would have been hard to get over during that time period. So, because you're talking about what, LOD at that point, LOD 2000, so they're already booking towards LOD 2000 and putting them with a different manager, and also wrestling had changed. Like the idea of like the Road Warriors coming out and murdering people was not very fun. Like even if you look at APA, right? Like they didn't do that. They weren't able to do that, even though they were built as that kind of tag team. So I don't know. It's a weird thing with the Road Warriors, the what if of what that could have been. And also there were some problems there after the North Korea WCW stuff. There's a lot of anything after like the North Korea WCW stuff with the Road Warriors is weird.
Yeah.
Too Cold Scorpio, punching Hawk on a plane and trying to stab him. That's interesting. if you guys want to check out WCW in North Korea, where the North Korean government paid WCW to do 2 shows and forced all their citizens to go watch WCW with such acts as Too Cold Scorpio and the Road Warriors. It's out there.
And Rick talking about he was scared he was never going to make it back alive. He thought they were going to be held there and killed or something. He's like, I was terrified.
It was a legitimate fear for everyone there, and it didn't help that Too Cold Scorpio was trying to murder people.
Yeah. Sugar Shane says Kevin Sullivan in Florida. The early days, I agree with that. When Dusty was still down there. Yeah, I agree with that. Maria says Nasty Boys. I don't know if I would consider Nasty Boys to ever be scary. Look, this may be an unpopular opinion, not trying to bag on anybody. I never got the Nasty Boys to this day. I don't understand. And again, not trying to crap on anybody here, dude. To each his own. You're free to love whoever you want to love. I never got it. I kept thinking, are they supposed to be, is this Beastie Boys? Is this, we're disgusting, we're gross, we're boneheaded, we drink beer. What am I seeing?
So
I don't know.
The time period for me was in the early 90s with the Nasty Boys when they came back to WCW, because they had that WWF stint. And that did not work. When they came back to WCW, they did it was like a grunge punk rock thing. Yeah. Pretty much was the gimmick. And then they had those matches against Public Enemy, and some of those matches are pretty good. That being said, the Nasty Boys, they would have been a perfect fit for ECW because they're terrible in the ring.
Yeah, they're really bad.
In a world where Harlem Heat exists, they're awful.
Awful. Yeah.
Even in WCW, but they're fun. They Sags is a pretty entertaining guy with the pit stop, putting his armpit in the guy's face. And, they had their thing. They're very much a Hulk Hogan, these are my boys tag team. Though.
Oh, I totally see that. Let's see. Number two for me is Nikita Koloff. And as a kid, again, I'd seen big guys. I loved Animal and Hawk, but Nikita was on another level. And again, the eyes have it. And Nikita had a way of just looking like Jake did. Nikita could just stare a hole through you. To me, made him scarier. And I'll never forget the tag team match with Ivan and Nikita versus Ricky and Robert. And Ricky and Robert bled like crazy. And I thought, they're going to die tonight.
Ricky and Robert took 8 aspirins and drank 6 beers before that match to get that blood going, brother.
Yeah, I'm sure. And
that blood out.
Yeah, no doubt about it. But I just remember thinking they're going to get killed. I think they're legitimately, because they didn't sell. I'm sorry. They sold like crazy, which even made the match better, of course. But they ended up winning that match, which was a great finish. But as a kid, I was like, I cannot believe, it's over. It's over. And Nikita was scary as crap to me. The night that he turned face with Dusty, to this day, is one of the coolest things I've ever seen on a pro wrestling show. And I said that years ago on YouTube or somewhere, and said, for me, it was the biggest pop I'd ever heard. Or it was the biggest pop I'd ever heard or whatever. And somebody in the comments said, not even close. I'm like, so you're going to tell me what the biggest pop I ever heard was? I thought
personally, you're wrong. I have reviewed all of your watching history, and I know that is not decibel.
Dude. Anyway, people are weird, man.
I will say one of the biggest pops I've ever heard was the Hardy Boys coming back at that WrestleMania recently. Yeah, not that long ago. That was a huge pop. And I predicted that one. So Wrestling Geeks Live, check that out. Old shows. If you want to watch old wrestling review shows, it's out there for you guys.
It was big.
That was a huge pop. That is one of the biggest ones I've Hulk Hogan and The Rock, that was massive as well. For both entrances, and the first time they stood in the ring together, that was monumental as far as a pop goes in comparison to and also it's the building, right? If it's an open air building, a lot of noise is going to escape. That's such a weird thing to talk about.
Yeah. Well, again, kids, the stories you've heard about Nikita are true. And they saw him in a Gold's Gym, and he was in the ring the next week. And supposedly he didn't want to do it, but Crockett's like, we got to get this guy in the ring. And he learned on the fly and learned as he went. And I think Nikki ended up being very good. But yeah, you can see in the first that Ivan was carrying the bulk of the matches, and Nikita was just like throwing the Russian sickle, doing the strongman thing. But yeah, for me, terrifying. So
Fernando said Stone Cold had the biggest pop for me. And I will say Stone Cold on a weekly basis had the biggest pop of all time there for like 2 years.
Him coming back for that match against Bischoff, remember, was massive.
Yeah, Stone Cold in general, anything he did was he could be off screen and it would be the biggest pop. It's like, oh, he's gonna throw the Rock's title into the lake. Biggest pop of the night. Stone Cold is on a different level than a lot of like as far as popularity during that time period.
It's like
it's so weird to go back and look at those. Like I know a lot of people have rose-colored glasses for the Attitude Era. There's a lot of bad, a lot of terrible wrestling during that time period, but like Stone Cold was not one of those. And when he shows up, the crowd lets you know. It's crazy.
Austin could open a bag of Doritos and get a pop that time. It was crazy. Yeah, it didn't matter.
It's insane. And if he hit like the Rock with like the My Way promos heading WrestleMania, like the promo package itself being played on the Titantron got pop. Like it's weird. The 90s wrestling, because of the Rock and Stone Cold, is like what is easily the biggest boom in wrestling. It's not even a question. I know people are like, well, it wouldn't exist without Hogan. I was like, yeah, but Hogan was never as big as Steve Austin or The Rock. If you're looking at ratings and how many people viewed the product and how much money they made and the fact that it became a publicly traded company, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah, Rock and Stone Cold. That's it.
Well, we've come to the moment. You're number one, sir. What do you have?
Antonio Inoki. This man almost kicked Muhammad Ali, one of the baddest men on the planet, to death. He kicked him so hard he had blood clots in his legs, and they thought he was going to die in a wrestling match. Jeez. Also, his association with the Yakuza, which is a huge deal. Look up Antonio Inoki and the Yakuza. There's lots of stories there. There's lots of things that Inoki didn't like in government that suddenly disappeared related to wrestling and gambling, etc. Yeah, I'll let you do your own research on that. But as far as scary people, Antonio Inoki, gonna go with that.
I would never have chosen him.
But also, rest in peace. I mean,
I love how you did all that and then say, by the way, rest.
I love Inoki, man. Like you can't. But if there's gonna be someone on this list I'm scared of, Inoki for sure. Yeah. I might disappear not even knowing Inoki if I make it mad.
Yeah.
He's one of those. He was one of those cats.
He didn't want to be in that match with Ali, right? That was the story. He didn't want to do it. And
no, so he was fine with doing it. He wanted to work a match, right? Like, so they were trying to figure out the rules, and then they had a set of rules, and then they kept changing them. And kept, like on Ali's side, they kept changing them. They kept changing them. So it left with Inoki being able to kick. So Inoki just started kicking the crap out of Ali.
Well, this is the match where Inoki just laid on his back and Ali didn't know what to do. Yeah.
Yeah. And he just kicked the crap out of him.
Yeah.
In his legs. And Muhammad Ali almost died, which is unfortunate because Muhammad Ali is a great wrestling fan and big, gorgeous George fan. That's half of his gimmick.
That's half his gimmick. Yeah.
But yeah, it's a weird match to watch.
It is. Undertaker's number one. It's not even close for him. I can respect that.
Did Undertaker scary though? He spent most of his time as a babyface.
Maybe the whole urn stuff and I don't know.
I mean, Taker tombstoning Hogan like way back in the day and putting him in a body bag, but that's like early 90s.
Yeah. Well, look, my number one is the Road Warriors, my scariest wrestlers of all time. And, even though they turned face and they were face for a good long time, I would say the majority, but I still thought they were scary, even when I loved them growing up. But, like, when they turned on Dusty, I'm like, yeah, Like Dusty was my guy.
Yeah, Dusty's everybody's guy now.
Well, not necessarily, because they got cheered when they turned on Dust, because it's Paul Ellering tells that story about in WWE they split him up from the Road Warriors, and Paul's like, how am I supposed to? What do I say to cut a promo on the Road Warriors that's going to be believable? He's like, nothing's believable. No matter what I say, it doesn't matter because no one's going to buy it because they love Hog and Animal. And he's right. He's not wrong.
Yeah, he's not wrong. Road Warriors were that was a tsunami in wrestling. They have to be the biggest tag team of all time. I know that there's and I love Midnight Express and the Rock and Roll Express and I love all those tag teams. I appreciate everything they did in wrestling. But as far as an act, big gimmick, the Road Warriors by far, dude. It's scary how fast they got over and how crazy just simple matches they had.
And to prove your point, you can go back to the companies and the territories where they worked. And you can look at the show before and the show that they worked and the show after, and you can see a difference in the numbers. Attendance is up because they brought bodies to the arena. And back in the day, kids, I'm sure you know this, pro wrestling, the success of a pro wrestler was judged by whether or not he could put butts in the seats. Today, not so much. But at that time, that's what it was. Are you a draw? Can you draw? And they could. Everywhere they went. And I love Matt and Jeff, don't get me wrong. But Matt and Jeff getting tag titles wherever they go, to me, is not the same as Hawk and Animal getting tag titles wherever they go. I think it's two entirely different sets of metrics. Do you know what I mean?
Well, it's also the Road Warriors could legitimately beat up most of the people in that company, kind of thing. So it's a little different, especially the way with the Road Warriors were booked. But the Hardys were booked like Midnight, Rock and Roll Express, right? It's the same idea. Michael P.S. Hayes being there and being like, "Hey, we're gonna book you like the Von Erichs,"
right.
That's the Hardys. Matt's gonna go in, he gets his butt kicked for a long time. They're gonna hit their hot tag. It's the same match for every Hardys match, but it's worked for years and years and years, and they do a great job at it.
Yeah.
And Jeff is just such a charismatic person. That's kind of crazy in itself.
They'll never. Yeah. Sorry, I was going to say, no one will ever know what Jeff has because you can't define it. There is. I can't put this over enough, and you know this. Jeff just has something that cannot. I can't even put it into words, and Matt knows it too. Matt said it. Jeff just has something, and it's hard to fans connect with him in a way that I'm telling you, it's rare. It's rare.
It's really weird because it's not even that he's a good promo or the best wrestler in the ring, or he's booked the best, because none of those things were true. It's
right.
Just Jeff was just over because Jeff was over. It hit at the right moment. I hate to do that comparison, but it's the same time period. It's like Limp Bizkit, right? It's at the right moment, and people are still like, yeah, like that.
Yeah, I can't compare Limp Bizkit to the Hardy Boys. I'm not a fan. I'm sorry.
Okay, well, Deftones, whatever. It hit right, it hit at the right time, and it just has always been a thing. Shane made me laugh really hard with Nia Jax. To be honest, I agree.
I saw that.
If I'm in the locker room, I agree. That's the scariest female wrestler to be in the ring with.
Yeah, because she'll hurt you. Shane also says Moondog. Yeah, look, man, we're not going to have mentioned people. The problem with doing a list is it's never identical to what you want. Whoever the you is, never. That's why, anytime I was doing the pro wrestling writing, if I was asked to write a top 10, I'm like, do I have to? Please don't make me. Because in the comments I would get, good list, here's mine. And then 6,000 words in the comment. I'm like, oh my God. Oh my God. Thanks for reading. What do I say? You know what I mean?
No, I mean, the movie. Hey, if we're just talking about, maybe let's ask the community. What's your most brutal? What's your number one? If you had to do a top 10, what's your number one? Is the Moondog Shane's number one? That's the real question,
right? Fernando's getting ready to ask questions that are not covered in pro wrestling. So guess what? The floor is open. Now we can answer We can answer Fernando's question. Fernando says, was Kiss the scariest rock band ever or Black Sabbath? I think scary in a different way.
Alice Cooper by far over
Ooh.
both those bands. As far as like if you're talking about being scared going to see a performance, like if you go see Black Sabbath play, it's just people playing Black Sabbath. Or like Kiss playing is just like, Detroit Rock City is not inherently scary as a song. It's just a performance. But Alice Cooper, it's he has a song called Dead Babies. They can't take things off the shelf. And then he gets his head cut off with the guillotine. So I'm gonna go with Alice Cooper on that one.
Oh my God. Yeah. It's hard to disagree with that. Ray says EPMD or crisscross. There's no planet on which I would ever pick crisscross over EPMD. It is not possible.
So my former roommate Griff went to school with one of the members of Crisscross at the Atlanta Institute of Music as a producer, art. Super nice guy, but not even close to the level of EPMD. I don't know why this is a question.
Oh, well, Ray likes to switch it up. He likes to switch it up. He's putting you on your toes. Pete Rock and CL Smooth or the Fugees?
Fugees. It's not even close. Once again.
I mean, to you, I love Pete Rock and CL Smooth.
More than the Fugees?
Yes.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. You know what? I don't care.
You know what? Now we're just going to start a wrestling match.
It's my show. Come on now. These are my records. Don't you ever touch my stereo.
I like CL Smooth just fine. Fuji's like that album, specifically that first album is just, it's brilliant. So
let's see. Adam Cole. This time the store is a pet supply store where you can get any supplies for your pet or food. What would you get? I don't know. I think my animals need new beds. If he also said you can invite a friend, would you please call me? If you want to hang out at a pet store, you're welcome to. Later one to get dinner, which included barbecue ribs, fries, and a cold glass of water and a slice of, yes, absolutely. For sure.
Yeah. Sounds good.
Chris is like, yeah, ditto.
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't know.
I prefer pumpkin pie myself.
Song with the South, sweet potato pie, and I shut my mouth. Sweet potato pie.
There you go. Shane says Joe LeDoux was his number one. He cut himself on live TV with an axe. That's pretty darn scary.
Well, I mean, it's just dumb. That doesn't make it scary for anyone else. So if it's only scary to your own body, then it's not
scary
really
for
scary.
It's scary for Shane. Maria says Freddy Krueger or Jason. No.
Yeah, so I'm going to answer this. The answer is they're dumb because they're both demons, right? Like they're unkillable, so them fighting each other makes no sense. So I'll go Michael Myers because he's not in this feud with Jason and Freddy Krueger. It makes no sense.
I gotta tell you, man.
It makes no sense. Jason slept in the middle of a lake for 20 years at one point.
Yeah. He's like Aquaman. Was like Aquaman down there, had a little undersea kingdom with the trident and everything. You think? I don't know.
See, I think Tom, if you look at horror movies the way I look at them in their ridiculousness, it won't be as scary for you. It's like the fact is like, oh, he's a little boy that drowned, but then he lived underwater for 20. Well, technically, his mom drug his body out, which was he died as a child, but now he's a full-grown human.
Are you suggesting
you see what I'm getting at? It's like if you look at it like that.
No.
But yeah, the answer is Michael Myers. Watch Halloween instead of
no. Are you suggesting that Jason lived in a pineapple under the sea?
Yes, he did. Oh, well, he lived in the middle of a lake under a boat, and then then Jason one time got tossed off by psychic energy, and also the kid from the Goonies that also plays guitar. I can't think of his name. The actor,
Feldman.
Yeah, Corey Feldman once put on a fake mask of Jason's face and looked at Jason, and then Jason had a heart attack, and they threw him back at the lake. So Jason as a character, we're gonna at least as a character, like Freddy is better because he has good one-liners, but like Jason as a character, also Jason in Manhattan, he just straight has a fist fight with a guy. It's kind of man. So good. Tom Savini's great, though, by the way, as far as like makeup artists and stuff goes. Tom Savini's great. To answer Fernando's question, Hellraiser or Candyman. Also RIP. But Candyman's way scarier.
Robbie says, tonight I'm going to trick-or-treating at a local mall with some housemates, and tomorrow the local Lubbock, Texas company Rampage Wrestling comes back to Abilene with a show that includes a dog collar match with Rampage title. To both of you, what is your best dog collar match ever? There's only one answer to this one. I'll take it. Don't even talk. Don't even talk. There's only one answer. It is Roddy Piper versus Greg the Hammer Valentine. Moving on. If you say I'm wrong, you are wrong forever.
Dude, Greg is the nicest guy of all time, by the way.
Who said he wasn't a nice guy?
No, have you ever met Greg?
I interviewed him years ago on the show. Yeah,
he's so nice. When he showed up in AEW and he looked like he was a member of Death Row Records, was the greatest thing of all time.
Yeah.
He started photoshopping him into Death Row Records. So he's such a good dude.
I got to interview him, and I got on the phone with him, and everything I asked him was one-word answers. And it was like, yep.
He was in a bad mood that day, I guess.
Oh. No, he was very nice to me. But like, I eventually, because I'm like, oh my God, it's gonna be a long hour. What have I done? So I eventually got him talking. But he was very cool, and he talked a lot about his dad, like he was a kid, like he was still a kid. Talked a lot about his dad, how much he loved his dad, and he said something. I'll never tell you what he said, but he said something that kind of sounded, it was maybe off color that maybe he shouldn't have said. And he said at one point during the interview, would you mind taking that out? And I'm like, I said, I'm not here to burn anybody. I'd be happy to take that out. So I took it out. And he said something, it just kind of came out. But at the end of it, he thanked me for the interview. And he goes, thank you. It was a great interview. I appreciate your time, and you have a great day. Very matter of fact.
Me sitting with Greg, he ordered a salad with no salad, but all of the ham and eggs stuff. It was like a Cobb salad.
Protein.
Only the protein. Yeah. That was my memory of him. And then Greg Neidhart sat with him. And Greg is like a Falcons fan, which was really, really weird.
Interesting.
But he's from Canada, so I guess he lived in Atlanta most of his life, I'm assuming, because he was in WCW, etc. But so I got to talk to Greg, and I've actually Natalie Neidhart, I've had a conversation with her about her dad. Randomly she posted something about her dad, and I was like, hey, I hung out with your dad one time, and we talked about the Falcons, and he talked about how much they suck right now. It was a really fun conversation, and she was like, that sounds like my dad. And I was like, all right, thanks. So that was my spoiler alert. That was my conversation with Natalia, who is doing great, by the way, on the indie scene. Her run right now is better than anything she's done in WWE, in my opinion. I think it's really, really good.
Yeah.
For Alma here, Leatherface or Leprechaun. He's mystical. Leatherface is not. Leatherface is he doesn't have any magical powers. He's a inbred that is forced to kill for his family. Halloween costume as a kid. Man.
You think I'll take it. Ace Frehley kiss. When the costumes were in the box and the mask had a little rubber band that goes around your head. Ace Frehley kiss was my costume as a kid. I loved it. I
did Ace Frehley as like a teenager high schooler, so I'm gonna go earlier with that. Spider-Man. Probably. Ooh, I was really stoked on being Spider-Man, to the point where I was like trying to climb things. So I'm gonna go Spider-Man.
There was a Spider-Man in the gym this morning. I walked upstairs, there he was. Smooth Tom, Jay says. Everybody welcome Jay. Fernando says Poltergeist or Amityville Horror.
Poltergeist. Nope. Poltergeist. I like Poltergeist better as a film.
Nope is my answer.
Also, the Amityville, once you dig into the Amityville Horror and you realize like the amount of crap that, because it's supposed to be based on a true story, it that bothers me. Poltergeist is better, and also Poltergeist 2 is pretty good.
Was it Poltergeist supposedly on a true story, or no? Is it just Amityville Horror?
Amityville. Amityville Horror is specifically based on the Amityville house, which they have the Lorraine. They have a bunch of people come out. They do a demonic like cleansing. It's like there's a whole book about it. I can't remember all the details about it, but like the more you read about it and know that like that poor family actually didn't make any money off that book.
Ooh.
And some of the other things related to that movie, it kind of makes you hate the movie itself. But the original Amityville Horror, if you're talking about the original one, it's way better than the remake that they made. And it's not a bad watch. It's just not as good as Poltergeist.
Well, kids, guess what? I think that's your Halloween episode. I got to go take this mask off and set fire to it because I can't. This is the worst idea ever. So glad y'all enjoyed it. Chris, before we get out of here, let's get where you are on the internets.
I am on the internet at Boink Studios. Check out
Boink
Basement. Boink. I call
Boink.
it Bonk. No, it's Boink. It's Boink. It's Boink Studios. At Christopher.r.patton on Twitter, Christopher.r.patton on Facebook, Christopher.r.patton on Instagram. I have 2 shows, Bachman's Basement, which is a deep dive. If you like spooky, we're talking about spooky in the chat here. It's a deep dive on Stephen King and his mind and some of his lesser known works and some of his shows. And then I have the Patton Report. So if you like video games or news about video games or random hockey stories or whatever, pop culture thing, it's there for you. So that's going to be, we're doing an upcoming interview with Sal Turk, who just recently won an award for Best Director for a short film in Atlanta. So that's going to be fun on the Patton Report and talking about horror films because that's what he's known for. So that'll be good if you guys like that. So spooky. I'm going to try to wrap it up, Tom.
No, I like it
right here, brother. Yeah, so check it out. Like, if you like that stuff. And there's a spoiler in the latest episode of Bachman's Basement that ties back to one of the books, and is a song that I played. So have fun with that.
Well, by the way, kids, Bachman's Basement drops tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Eastern, audio and video versions. So be sure you're following us on Boink Studios on YouTube and on boinkstudios.com. On boinkstudios.com on the website, you can get all the audio links. And then on YouTube, of course, you got the video and audio both right there for you. Chris, don't go anywhere. We appreciate you, my friend. Thanks again for coming on.
Have a nice day. Bye-bye.
There you go, kids. Mr. Chris Patton, join us. Well, yeah, I'm going to go torch this thing because, again, this is the worst idea ever. By the way, I bought this mask. Hello? A hood. Bought this thing in Mexico because I'm like, if you don't buy a luchador mask while you're in Mexico, what'd you even go to Mexico for? So I bought one, and I immediately regretted not trying it on because I'm like, I should have tried that mask on because this thing sucks. You know what I mean? It's like the most uncomfortable thing ever. However, I look good. Maybe I'll just wear it all the time. He's the unknown podcaster. The unknown podcaster. I couldn't pull this voice off when I don't have a cold. It's pretty cool, right? All right, kids. Well, that's all I got for you. Go out there and trick or treat, man. Get some candy. You know what I mean? I don't know what to tell you. Get some candy, baby. Go out and do your thing. Be safe tonight. Watch for those razor blades. If you get that reference, good on you. And look, we appreciate your time. Thanks as always for joining us. We'll be back here a week from today, barring any unforeseen circumstance. And again, as always, kids, thank you so much for hanging out. Remember to check out boinkstudios.com, Tom Clark's Main Event, Tom Clark 6 and Podcast, Bear Motor Podcast Review of the Bear, Bachman's Basement, The Patton Report, and Ray Dean Sports and Slams. Look at that, baby. I do go to the gym. Huh? Come on now. Thanks again for watching, kids. Episode 400 is coming up in 2 weeks. Don't miss it. We hope you'll be here. We're going to fill the room up. Hopefully, y'all will be here to join us. That's all I got, folks. Thanks again for watching. We'll see you next time, kids.